Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for November 2022. You start off here with this card that says you are very close to achieving your goal. You also have this card that says nothing will come of this situation. I feel like this is a very typical Gemini reading. I feel like these are two things that you're dealing with. Number one, I feel you're very focused on achieving something. You have the World to the Star to the Three of Wands. It's kind of like you're getting very close to something and then you're hesitating with that Three of Wands. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then nothing will come of this situation. I feel it's talking about something you're worrying about. So, if you're worrying about what people think of you or other things like that, I feel like that could be holding you back. And I feel this reading is encouraging you to just focus on what you can control at this time. You have these Six of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords here. And again, I do want to point out that I think kind of the gist of this reading, although there's a lot more detail than just this, but you have Six of Swords, World, Star. It's like this is your North Star, the Star card. It is the thing that you really want to accomplish. The world is an accomplishment. But the Three of Wands, I always say, it's kind of like running to the edge of a diving board. Like if you've ever seen any of those videos on YouTube where it's like someone runs to the edge of a diving board, they hesitate, then they jump and they fall, they hit the diving board. That's kind of like the energy that I get from this reading here. And I'm not saying you're falling or anything like that, but, I kind of feel like this is encouraging you to just jump, jump into something that you really care about. And I don't even think this is like love necessarily. I think it's your North Star, which is maybe your purpose in life, what you're meant to be doing. So again, you have these Six of Swords here. Six of Swords is like moving on to calmer shores. I definitely feel, again, this first row is your past position, so I feel you've been going through choppy waters, but it's like you're being guided away from something, I feel, and you're being guided towards calmer shores. I feel like you're being guided to what you really want in life, which is, again, that star. That's going to be different for all of you, of course, but that's where you're headed. You have the Eight of Swords as well. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, and I wanted to jump ahead to this card because if we go here, Eight of Swords, Two of Swords, the Star, it's like some of you, I feel, are not seeing how easily you could have the Star's fulfillment. And again, not calling you out here at all, Gemini. I just think that, this happens to all of us. I think we maybe overthink things or, we kind of doubt that something is true, which is kind of the feeling I get for you here, where it's like you could easily, she could easily turn around and see that new island behind her, which I feel is your star, and it's like she could easily see it, but she has to be willing to see it in the first place. You have the Three of Pentacles as well. It's like you deserve something. Three of Pentacles is a card of quality work. And so I always say that, it's a card of doing quality work, but I really feel it's more saying that you deserve something. You've earned something here. And again, you're not the only sign this month, which is interesting, that has had a message that kind of says you deserve something or you've earned it, and those are really the words that are popping into my head. So whatever you've been working on, working towards, whatever, I feel like you've earned your right to have something here. So let's see. With the Six of Swords, you have the Death card, definitely letting something go. Again, the whole point of the Six of Swords is that the mother and the child in that boat, they are leaving everything behind. They're making a complete sacrifice. They're letting everything go for the hopes of a brighter future. So they're kind of like completely sacrificing everything from the past. Sacrifice isn't really the right word. They're more just kind of releasing everything. They're just going to hopefully calmer shores with the clothing on their back. So they're releasing everything. And that would be like the Death card for sure. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands really says it's time to take the lead and make something happen. Two of Wands, though, is a card of progress, and I really feel you're making a lot of progress here. To me, the Two and the Three of Wands are both cards of really need to take the lead, right? And that's kind of like what I feel like you're doing here. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Ten of Cups. Fortune after difficulty, happiness, good things coming in for you. Again, to me, having the Ten of Cups with the Star like this is kind of like having a vision. It's like seeing something as your Ten of Cups. Like maybe you want happy home, happy family with the Ten of Cups, right? Maybe you don't have a person, but it's like if you can imagine it, I don't think you have to get super detailed, but I feel if you can kind of imagine what it would look like, then it would give you something to work towards. So this could also be business. Maybe you have a certain vision of what you want to create in your business. And I kind of feel this is saying, if you can see this clearly, which in your future position here, you have this owl spirit. It says you can see clearly now. You also have this lion. It says be generous of spirit. So I feel like being generous, of course, is always a good idea, but you have this owl, which says you see clearly now. This card kind of gives me Queen of Swords vibes, which could be your card, by the way, Gemini. So I feel you see clearly what your star is, what your North Star is. You finally see the big picture. You have the World, the Two of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. On the World card, I'm getting that I feel like the World is giving you the opportunity to create what you want. She represents a sorceress, this person in the middle of the card. She kind of sees, she's a combination of like all energies that exist basically. So she's able to create things very quickly in her life through not only just her powers of manifestation, but also the actions that she's taking. And again, for whatever reason, this is popping into my head as more of an action, which the World doesn't really necessarily represent that. It could represent, ending a cycle or moving or traveling or something like that, which definitely shows up here. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm getting more of this like creative energy, birthing energy. Maybe that's a better way to put it here, Gemini, that you could be birthing your new life. You have the Two of Swords as well. As I always say, quite simply, I feel that she needs to see this new island behind her. There are a lot of meanings for the Two of Swords, and, she could be trying to protect her heart, but she's not seeing something. She has a blindfold on. Some people say that she's trusting her intuition. Definitely true. She has the blindfold on so that she can trust her intuition, but at the same time, it's like she needs to take the blindfold off because she's trying to protect her heart. She's worried that she's going to be hurt by these two rocks that are in the water. And you can see that this is choppy water, just like the Six of Swords. And you have this new island behind you. So where she is where she has always been. And you have basically every single card that represents leaving a comfort zone. 2 wands, 3 wands. You have the 4 of pentacles, same thing. And so you have like every card that would represent needing to leave where you have always been. Why? So you can have your 9 of cups, true fulfillment. 9 of Cups is like fulfillment, happiness, wishes. I definitely feel there are wishes that could be coming true for you here. You have the 9 of Cups and the Star. So a lot of wish energy. I feel like being generous would be a good way to manifest some things as well. It's like, I think that us spiritual people need to be careful of being too generous, right? I think spiritual people are classic overgivers in all situations. But I feel like this is saying that if you're feeling stuck, like when I'm feeling stuck sometimes, like I think giving is a great way to get unstuck. I think it's a great way to get the energy moving forward. So if you're feeling stuck in any area of your life, like doing something nice for another person, doesn't even have to cost money, that could be a great way to kind of get things rolling. With the World card, you have the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands says go on the adventure. 5 of Wands is my card I call Indiana Jones. To me, it's like going on some sort of crazy adventure so that you can find some treasure. So I feel there is conflict, but again, personally, I do not read the 5 of Wands as a bad card. Of course, you could be experiencing some sort of conflict in your life, of course. But, to me, the people on the 5 of Wands, they are meant to look young, number one. Number two, they're using sticks. They're not using swords. So they're kind of like learning how to fight, and they're gaining something from it. And the interesting thing is I do feel for some of you that you could be gaining a lot from some conflict in your life. But we're not talking about like fighting or something like that here, Gemini. This feels more like taking a risk, or, with the Star, you could be revealing something to the world. You could be doing something like starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you're giving a presentation at work. Whatever feels risky as far as exposure is concerned, there could be a lot of benefits in that for you. With the 2 of Swords, you have the King of Cups. Some of you might need to open up to a person here. You have the King of Cups twice, but there could be some, it's kind of funny that you have the lady sitting here, there's water in between, and then you have the King of Cups twice. This to me says there's some sort of emotional barrier. So again, if you're dealing with a person in love, take how it resonates, but, I feel there maybe is like some sort of emotional barrier, or maybe emotions are getting in the way here of you kind of having fulfillment going up to the Star. I don't know, 8 of Swords is like with the 10 of Cups here as well. It's like feeling stuck. We're going to have to see where this goes, obviously, because, it's like maybe there's a little bit of stuck energy in your love life for some of you. Obviously not going to be true for all of you. With the 9 of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups. Are you kidding me? Divine counterparts here, Gemini, right here, and also going this direction. So some of you could have a divine counterpart. Could be a water sign, could also be a Leo. I mean, could be any sign. It could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, a Taurus, or a Leo with that World card. Could be a Scorpio, could be a Taurus. I feel like I already said that, but, could be any sign. This is a general reading. I'm just giving you some ideas here. But, I feel there's some sort of blockage for some of you in love. Not going to be true for all of you. We're going to see where it's going. Next, in your future position, you have this Air card. It says, seek a union of mind, and spirit. You also have this minstrel card. It says, let your intentions be known. So I feel like you need to, again, be very clear with the things that you want in your life. Pretty much every single person this month has had some sort of message of like really needing to focus exactly on what you want and being very specific about it in all areas of your life. Because I feel, for whatever reason, I feel like we're going to get exactly what we're thinking about, or what exactly the story that we're telling ourselves in our head. So I'd be very clear about that with this energy. There's been a lot of spiritual energy as well with this air spirit card here. And pretty much everyone's had something that says kind of it'd be a good time to tap into your spirituality. You have the Star, the Four of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. Those are not pop-outs. That's like a million cards that just popped out there, Gemini. That is just Butterfingers is what that is. But I feel a little stubbornness on this Four of Pentacles, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure if it's coming from you or from a person in your life. So, Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to the way things have always been. And again, you have a lot of cards here that would encourage you to leave a comfort zone. Again, of course, as I always say, tarot is not meant to tell you what to do. It's only meant to point out opportunities that exist that you could take advantage of. So again, what you do is up to you, and I'm not here to tell you what to do, but what I would say is I feel like there could be a lot of opportunity outside your comfort zone. It's like maybe you need to travel, but you're afraid to travel. Maybe you need to leave your job and get something better, but you're afraid. And it's like, I totally get it. It's like, I feel like fear is at an all-time high because, I don't know. I think when we have an event like COVID, for example, it's, it kind of makes us more afraid because we're like, okay, and makes things very uncertain, and I kind of get that feeling here. I don't think it's too bad. So I'm not really worried about this for you, Gemini, but it's like sometimes I think when something like that happens, like what we've experienced, it makes things very, kind of gives you that feeling of uncertainty. That's the best way I could describe it. So maybe going to new things is a little bit scary, but you have the Star here, and you can see that she's pouring water onto the land right here. And the water that she's pouring onto land comes from this pool of universal consciousness. And it basically says what's possible for one person is possible for you. So if you see someone doing something, I feel it's kind of a little bit of hope or a spark of hope. There's also this bird up here. And sorry, I'll show you over here. But there's this bird up here, and that bird kind of sees the whole big picture. That's the point of the bird. It's the all-knowing bird. It is the ibis, and it kind of sees everything that is happening. I kind of feel that for you where, you could be entering into situations in the future because this is your future position. And it's almost as if you're kind of seeing the future, maybe not literally, but more figuratively. Like maybe you're getting some clues. Maybe you go on an interview and you see like 11:11 on the clock, or maybe you go on a date with a person and it just works, right? It's like I feel there could just be kind of little clues, and I would be paying attention to those clues. You have the King of Cups as well. Again, if you are dealing with a person, could be a water sign, I feel stubbornness here for some reason. It's like sometimes I don't like the King of Cups, if I'm being honest with you, because, it's like sometimes they're too emotional. Sometimes sometimes they don't know how to tap into their emotions. It's weird that you have the King of Cups twice and the Queen of Cups, divine counterparts. So it's like there's something here with a person for some of you, but is it going to go anywhere? Or like, what's the issue? Can we figure it out here, Gemini? I'm not sure. Let's see. With the Star card, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Love it. I would definitely be nurturing anything that is growing in your life. It's very interesting to me that pretty much everyone has had this. And I know it sounds obvious. Like people always say to me, they're like, of course you should take care of what's growing in your life. I'm like, yeah, but not enough people do it. Like, look at how many people spin their tires doing things that don't work, right? So, to me, it's not obvious. And trust me, as someone who's wasted a lot of time in his life, I don't think anything's truly a waste of time. But I'm just giving you an example. As someone who has spent a great deal of time trying to get things that don't work to work, because I'm stubborn, I totally get it. So what I would say here is that I would be just kind of focusing on the things that are straightforward. I'm wondering by the way, I'm just wondering if this message has been coming up a lot for people because of Mars retrograde. It's like with Mars retrograde, we really shouldn't be wasting energy, or if we really can't waste energy, because again, if we try to do something that's going to work, it's just not going to work. So it's kind of hard to waste energy, but I do feel conservation of energy is super important during Mars retrograde, or else we're just going to be tired. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Cups. Very interesting. Knight of Cups is a knight in shining armor. So if you have a person that you have your eye on, I'm not so sure you're with this person, this King of Cups person. And again, it doesn't have to be a water sign. Could be like an overly emotional Leo with a lion card. Could just be an overly emotional person in general. Does that have to be a bad thing? No. But, Could be a knight in shining armor. You do have the Four of Pentacles, though, which is like holding on too tightly to the past. So if you're holding on to a person, maybe it's time to release him. I have a feeling we should probably pull an extra row here. With the King of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords, stuck. So again, if you're stuck on a person, it's like if you're stuck on a person, it's like, is this the right person? We're going to pull an extra row here, just for those of you that want it. So let's see. I'm using the Radiant Wise Spirit deck, by the way. With the Star and the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Chariot, which is like a victory coming in for you here. Could be a long distance connection as well. It's like you could have a person that you're holding on to, and it could be a long distance connection. That could be the problem here. Is Four of Pentacles is again needing to travel. Four of Pentacles, he's stuck where he is. So I'm wondering if someone is either stuck due to financial situation here, financial issues, or if someone is just fearing moving. And again, that could be you, not calling you out. Like I said, it is scary, right? It's like, if you've been in a long distance connection with this person, and if you would have to travel, it's like you're going somewhere you don't know. It could be like a very nerve-wracking situation, but I do feel there's a victory here if you want it. Again, like I said, I don't think we should be forced to do anything. I think there's plenty of love right around us. We don't need to be in these long distance connections and things like that if we don't want to be, right? So, what I would say here is it's like a choice, but I don't know. With the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, someone clearly has to move or travel. It's like someone's waiting. There's too many delays here. That's like maybe the thing that I really don't like about this. And I'm not saying this has to end badly. Again, I feel if you communicate with this person and say there's too many delays, let's make a decision, then you could get things moving forward. Three of Wands is like waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. So, I kind of feel a decision needs to be made, whether it's you or them. If you're dealing with if this story is for you and you're dealing with this person, a decision needs to be made. Eight of Swords is like self-imposed restriction. Someone is holding themselves back. With the King of Cups and the Eight of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. Someone is fearing that there's just going to be another disappointment here. That's what I'm getting. So again, if you're dealing with a person, I think your solution here, let's ask for a solution card. Why the hell not? But I think your solution is communication. And are you kidding me? She has her hands in the lion's mouth. She's taming the lion. So number one, being patient with a person. Maybe they need to be more patient with you as well. But this lion is submitting to her, but she has her hands in its mouth. Communication, exactly what it's saying. Strength doesn't really represent communication, but I don't know. I think that's pretty clear. Getting someone to open their mouth could be you, could be them. Take it how it resonates, but pretty interesting. Like I said, I do feel a decision needs to be made, or else, there might be like a tower moment or something. So, again, if you're dealing with a weird love situation, I would get it moving. And at the end here, with your outcome, you have this playfulness and cooperation card. Again, if you're dealing with love, there needs to be more playfulness and cooperation. And you have this flowers. It says romance, sweetness. So, I don't know, that could actually be pretty good. There could be a very sweet connection coming in for you if you want love. Some of you, I feel like, are looking for new love anyway. Although, again, there are disappointments here. You have the Four of Cups twice now in this reading. And so you have the Three of Wands, Four of Cups, and the Empress. With the Four of Cups twice, again, Four of Cups is like thinking the grass is greener when it's not greener on the other side. But to me, it can also say that maybe, in love, you've had several situations that have just been big disappointments. So it's like there's new love coming in, but he's not seeing it because he's too focused on past disappointments. So if you want new love, if you want love in general, I would be open to allowing the universe to surprise you. Sometimes I always say, I just feel with the Four of Cups that we just have to be open to being surprised. We just have to allow the universe to, bring us a gift or bring us something nice. And, it can be hard when we've had a bunch of disappointments. But I feel this in other areas of your life as well, Gemini. This could be like in work, in business, in career. Maybe you've had too many disappointments and you're starting to get to that point where you're like, things are not going to get better. But guess what? Buckle up, Gemini, because you have the Empress here. Either, in love, I feel like you're very attractive at this time. And there could be a person who wants to who finds you attractive with this card. But I also feel this could just be a lot of abundance coming in for you that you created. It's almost like things are starting to grow. Love it. I feel like you just need to get a move on or make a decision with the Three of Wands. Because again, Three of Wands, to me, it can be, it's one of those cards. I actually have a ton of meanings for it. And I just go with whatever pops into my head, of course, because I read intuitively. But I feel for you, it's like saying, what are you waiting for? Three of Wands, like waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment to do something. I feel like the time will never be right. And this could be maybe you're wanting to start a business or whatever. And I feel like this is saying that like the time is now. You have to get moving, right? With the Three of Wands, you have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is like fearing a nightmare. I feel like this could also be something that you're afraid of. Maybe you've had some nightmare situations in the past and you're fearing a nightmare. Let's clarify this actually. And you have the Three Cups. I don't know. I feel like something you think could end in sadness is actually going to be a celebration. So I would get out of your head for sure. Sometimes I feel with the Nine of Swords, we just need to get out of our head. With the Four of Cups, you have the High Priestess. Definitely trust your intuition. Almost every single person I've read for so far has had the High Priestess. I feel it's a very intuitive time, probably because we have Jupiter retrograding back into Pisces with Neptune in Pisces. And then at the end of the month, Jupiter's going to start going direct. So, very intuitive time is what I would say. Jupiter expands things. It's basically expanding the Pisces, Neptune energy. So very intuitive. I would trust your intuition. So you probably already know the answers to everything. With the Empress, you have the Justice card. Things are being rebalanced. It's funny that the Empress kind of does represent balance. She's perfectly balanced in her nature. She has a certain nature, which is to be a creative energy, right? She is like the mother. And even if you can't be a mother, it doesn't matter. You are very creative at this time. I feel like you're creating abundance, right? Or you could have creative ideas, or you could be whatever. And the Justice card, I feel, is like saying that there's balance returning to the things that you create. So definitely very interesting reading here, Gemini. I love it. We're going to pull 3 cards now. I'm going to do this as like a personalish reading. If you don't have questions, that's fine too. I'm sorry, this is just going to be one question. So if you don't have a question, that's fine. I'm going to put all 3 cards together. But these are the 3 cards. So if you have a question, feel free to think of your question now and pause the video because I'm going to start reading the cards. You have the Ten of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Looks like a breakup to me due to inconsistent energy. So some of you could have experienced a separation or breakup because of that. I feel for those of you that don't have a question, by the way, that this is asking you to start building something because Ten of Swords is like a difficult ending. The Knight of Wands is my builder in the tarot, for me personally. He might not know how to do something, but he kind of does it anyway. And I'll show you why. He has these pyramids right here. The pyramids in the tarot represent mysteries. And he wants to go on an adventure. He's just really following his desire. He desires to do something. He doesn't really care how he gets there. He's going to figure it out. And again, I feel like the Five of Swords is saying, take the risk. The Five of Swords is saying you've been through a lot of battles. You've been through a lot of challenges. But now it's time to take a risk and kind of like get moving here, Gemini. But pretty interesting reading. So thank you for being here, Gemini. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.